Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of D-Class personnel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Commander, and I'm going to be briefing you on the SCP you're about to go study. So what we're looking at today is SCP-1635, Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. All instances of SCP-1635 are to be stored at the Site-25 low-security morgue whilst inactive. Active instances should be stored in standard humanoid containment chambers and treated as appropriate for their apparent age and condition with regard to feeding and medical care. Activation of SCP-1635 instances is only permitted in test scenarios. For testing approval, contact the Site Director of Testing. Description: SCP-1635 is a collection of 5 humanoid entities individually designated SCP-1635-1 through -7. SCP-1635-2 and -4 neutralized during testing. An SCP-1635 instance is indistinguishable from the corpse of a human who has just expired from cardiac arrest. Body temperature remains at human average and rigor mortis is not in effect. Instances of SCP-1635 will remain in this state indefinitely unless activated by the procedure that I'm going to describe. SCP-1635 instances all possess a microchip measuring 14 mm by 12 mm attached to the spinal cord 10 mm below the skin in the nape of the neck. It is attached to the spinal column by a series of microscopic gold wires which extend to the spinal cord and upwards into large portions of the brain. Removal of this microchip has caused permanent neutralization of anomalous effects despite attempts to reinsert it. It is believed that this is due to the connections made between the chip and SCP-1635 neural matter being too fine to reestablish by current Foundation methods. Testing on samples of SCP-1635 neural matter has shown that 87% of neurons within the body contain statistically significant amounts of gold. If a living human finger touches the area on the back of the neck of an SCP-1635 instance directly above the microchip, the instance will activate. No effect was observed in a microchip outside of SCP-1635 instance, even when placed into a similar position in other humans or organisms. Repeating this process on an active instance of SCP-1635 will cause deactivation. Active instances of SCP-1635 resemble living humans and possess similar bodily functions, although hair and nails do not grow, and no tissues have been observed to age. While they do not require any food, water, or oxygen, they will process them as expected if provided, and will show signs of psychological distress consistent with non-anomalous humans if denied these. Any physical trauma or pathogenic activity inflicted on SCP-1635 instances will heal as normal for a human whether the instance is currently active or inactive. Lethal trauma will cause the instance to deactivate or become permanently neutralized if somatic integrity is sufficiently compromised. SCP-1635 instances have demonstrated no ability to regrow missing tissue or regenerate limbs beyond that of a normal human. Active SCP-1635 instances believe that they are ordinary human beings that have been transported to their present location through means unknown to them. They are unaware of their anomalous properties, and if presented with evidence of them, will often react with surprise and distress. Each instance of SCP-1635 has a unique appearance, personality, and set of memories. This is listed in Addendum 1635-A. Memories are accumulated as normal after activation, but do not persist after deactivation and subsequent reactivation. SCP-1635 instances uniformly manifest the same personality every time they are activated, although deviations have been recorded between the memories of the instances between activations. In addition, these memories frequently deviate from reality to a greater or lesser extent. For example, SCP-1635-1 will sometimes claim his side won the battle in which he fought, and other times lost. The affiliation and nature of the enemy against which he was fighting varies frequently as well. Repeated testing has shown a slight trend towards increased deviation between successive instances as the number of activations and reactivations increases. Now, this is Addendum 1635-A, list of SCP-1635 instances. Designation, SCP-1635-1, self-identification, Harold Erickson. Description, male, approximately 35 years of age, Caucasian with red hair and green eyes, notably muscled and physically strong. Notes, communicates in Old English, claims to have come from the aftermath of a battle in 11th century England, extremely uncooperative. Designation, SCP-1635-2, self-identification, unknown. Description, female, approximately 20 years of age, African appearance with black hair and brown eyes. Notes, subject continuously displays signs of severe terror and is either unwilling or unable to communicate with personnel. Occasionally voices utterances in no known language. Neutralized following testing of limit of SCP-1635 to regenerate after trauma. Remains incinerated individually after confirmation of lack of anomalous properties. Designation, SCP-1635-3. Self-identification, Tanaka Kaido. Description, male, approximately 30 years of age, Japanese with black hair, brown eyes. Notes, claims to originate in Kyoto, Japan, 1997. Capitulates to any demand made, however, use as source of information diminished by tendency to answer any question with non-committal or psychopathic answers. Designation, SCP-1635-4. Self-identification, unknown. Description, male, 22 years of age, Caucasian with blonde hair and blue eyes, androgynous and skinny in appearance. Notes, immediately upon activation, attempts to commit suicide by any means available. Due to this, was selected as subject for experimentation with removal of microchip. Following removal, subject behaved as normal human cadaver, with rigor mortis and decay of bodily tissue as expected, remains since incinerated. Designation, SCP-1635-5, self-identification, Sorcium Moon. Description, female, 26 years of age, Caucasian with shaved hair and green eyes, athletic appearance, many facial and bodily tattoos and piercings. Notes, claims to originate in London, England in 1983, extremely friendly and helpful towards all female employees, hostile and aggressive towards any male. Designation, SCP-1635-6, self-identification, Mo Sam Ben Jack. Description, male, 7 years of age, Caucasian with blonde hair and blue eyes, unremarkable in appearance. Notes, claims to originate from redacted in the year 3109. Potential use as information source to guide future Foundation activity limited by lack of specific knowledge and suspended autistic spectrum disorder. Designation, SCP-1635-7, self-identification, Lucas Komorowski. Description, male, 48 years of age, Caucasian with brown hair and olive eyes, large mustache. Notes, unwilling to describe origins, presumed relatively contemporary Poland due to language spoken, commanding and authoritative in tone, refusing to answer questions and instead demanding answers. When activated, malignant cancerous tumors manifest in bowel and left lung within 2 weeks. If untreated, these prove fatal to subject within 4 months. Tumors demanifest within 5 days of deactivation. This is Addendum 1635-B, Circumstances of Discovery. SCP-1635-1 through -7 were discovered in wooden crates in a warehouse in Clapham, London, following the seizure of assets of Ltd, an automotive parts company, after its liquidation. As the company has been investigated thoroughly and shows no signs of anomalous activity or any records of the crates, it is currently believed that they were dumped there sometime between the abandonment of the warehouse and its seizure. Police initially believed SCP-1635 to be human remains of murder victims, as SCP-1635-5 appeared to match records of a missing person dated from the 1980s. The primary anomalous effects were discovered when a coroner accidentally activated SCP-1635-1 during autopsy. Foundation agents embedded in the Metropolitan Police discovered the anomaly, and standard amnestic and disinformation tactics were successful in suppressing knowledge of the incident. Addendum 1635-C, Sample Recovered Documentation. Now, the following document was discovered inside the crate containing SCP-1635-6. Similar documents were found inside the other crates. It states, let me go ahead and read this here for you. Soul Search PLC Returned Item Processing Form 02-39. Order number 1536. Customer number CS387. Return date 30/05. Container description M-7 Human Type 12. Search research level Bronze. Reason for return 08C. Unwanted facet discovered. CSO decision refund approved. CSO comments. Customer failed to specify sufficient SS criteria. Item received with unwanted extra facets. Refund approved, but watch account for further activity. Suggest if future orders received that diamond service be offered as opportunity to ensure desired item is delivered 100%. Now, efforts to identify and locate the company named in the documentation has been so far unsuccessful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was SCP-1635. You are dismissed.